I'm Daniel. Welcome back to the Arts and Culture section. And I'm here today interviewing Apostlebird, a student band here at the University of Ottawa. And I'll pass it on to you guys to just quickly run through what each of you play and your names.
I'm Thomas. I play guitar.
I'm Hong. I'm the lead vocalist and also play guitar.
And I'm Liam. I play bass.
How did you guys kind of come to know each other, especially at a university so big? I know the music scene can be a little bit smaller and a little more tight-knit, but how did you guys bump into each other and start playing together?
This is a loaded question because, it's all, we actually have a friend that kind of all brought us together at varying points because we kind of all liked the same sort of music, and then we just kind of
It started off with me and Liam initially because I met Liam last November.
Yeah.
And then, I found out that he plays bass and I play guitar. And then he and our friend Kaylee were talking. And then at the time I was doing guitar covers on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think she showed him some of the videos, and then she was like, oh, Liam and Hong band? And then in January, we met another guy, Reese, he plays drums. So we're like, oh, maybe we can jam and maybe start a band or something.
Yeah.
And then Thomas came along, I think, sometime in February. Yeah, we played our first show in end of April.
Yeah.
And after that, our drummer had to leave for the summer, so we found another one, one of our friends, Norman, who's also in another band called Mom Years.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you kind of got your start by doing TikTok covers online or whatever. I've seen that a couple of times before. Do you think that maybe it was productive to get some sort of solo practice, kind of getting used to playing online, showing it to people before you started practicing and playing in public?
I think so, definitely, because I started learning guitar almost 2 years ago. I started learning last October, October 2022. And then I really didn't know much about music. I took piano lessons when I was a kid, but I gave up after a summer.
Yeah.
So I think just by learning and playing the songs I like was motivation for me, to improve my guitar skills, and also posting them on TikTok was kind of the next step because people were they were seeing my videos or judging me or praising me or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it would definitely help me get more comfortable performing in public.
How did you guys feel about your first show? I know you performed, I think it was April 13th at House of Tar.
Yeah.
Any growing pains with that, going from maybe practicing? I don't know if you guys practiced in classically it's someone's garage or basement.
It was a basement. Yeah, it was a basement. We played open mics at Live in Elgin prior to that. About probably 3 or 4 of them.
Twice. We played
Twice?
twice.
Okay, yeah.
I played twice with you guys.
No, because we played one without Thomas, remember? Yeah. That was probably where most of the growing pains occurred, at those open mics. There was a couple of those performances that were just, I think we can all comfortably say we're pretty similar. But I think once that first gig rolled around, I think when we all, the last note was played and we all put our guitars down, instruments down, I think we were like, oh, we can do this. That was definitely a really redeeming sort of moment after a couple pains.
Yeah, I think the first gig went actually pretty smoothly.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy with how it went, and I think that gave us a lot of confidence going forward.
We accept, when things don't go wrong because we learn to do the next show.
I think it's really good to get out there, try a show. If it doesn't go great, it is what it is, right? Half the time people don't notice. You guys were doing at least a show a month.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. Did that kind of build up maybe a repertoire that you guys were regularly playing, or were you trying to cycle through a bunch of new material as you guys played live?
Our set list kept growing rather than I think cycled out. I think we kept writing new songs gradually. I think the Targ show we had 5 songs on our set list. Now gradually we have
three. It's 3
originals and 2 covers, and now we have 5 originals, or sorry, 6 originals I should say.
Yeah.
And more in the works. But we've just sort of added them and created them a longer. Every show kind of got longer and longer as we were allowed more time. But we've always tweaked the songs too. The versions that you heard at the first show are completely different from how we play them now. We always are back in the rehearsal space tweaking them afterwards, trying to make them a lot better.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned writing some original songs, and obviously when they go to check out your Instagram page, you guys have a new demo out.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell me more about that?
Filmography.
Yeah.
So that's also a song that was written before I had joined the band, but it's like the first song.
Yeah, it's our first song we ever wrote. Yeah, it's completely different from how it started out. Again, like just it's not recognizable from how it started out.
Different flow.
Yeah.
Different structure too. Yeah, it was structurally very different from what it was when we first started.
But we decided that we wanted to have something to showcase to people that you know, so they could check out what we sounded like prior to coming to one of our shows versus just like getting a shot in the dark and going. But it was I don't know, what would you say the process of doing that would be like? Like we
Recording the demo.
it was it's pretty
It was in Thomas's basement. Thomas has a crazy basement. He has like 10 guitars, like 3 amps.
yeah. So
I think we did it all in one day.
yeah, we did in one morning.
That's pretty impressive.
We just wanted to get something out, and we're pretty happy with it though.
Yeah. I was really impressed with it when I gave it a listen.
Yeah.
I noticed, and I've seen this on some posters that you guys have put out on your page, that it was a bit shoegazy, but you're trying to convince people that it's a little less shoegazy.
Oh, yeah. That's really funny that you bring that up. I think that like initially when we started, because Hong and I bonded over shoegaze, but I think quickly I realized that we began writing songs that were bigger than just like that pigeonhole sort of genre. Like there was a lot more influences going on, and certainly if you listen to Filmography, there's a total shoegaze influence. Like it's evident. I'm not trying to diminish that aspect, but there's certainly a lot of other things going on, especially like in post-punk and stuff like that. But that's an interesting thing that you bring up because it's like that's something that I think we've talked about as a band, about trying to get away from that label.
Do you guys have any genres other than shoegaze that you want to pull from, or that you are pulling from, and that you find pretty inspirational for the band?
Yeah, well, for one, Liam and I, we all are like big fans of post-punk, so I know for a fact that both Liam and I are like when we play, it's like we pull a lot of our influences at post-punk.
But I think that it contrasts nicely with Hong's playing because that Hong does not play like that whatsoever. But I think that it makes like a sort of mesh that sounds something that like it's not just the textbuk sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But Hong can probably speak to
I think I'm very traditionally shoegaze. I like it like loud and like whispery vocals, but apparently, like, I didn't even notice, but apparently I have some, like, emo influences in my songwriting or
for sure
performing. But that was definitely not on purpose.
I think it's good to pull from a bunch of stuff, and I think it's really interesting that you guys are trying to kind of branch out and come up with new stuff. You mentioned obviously that you're going to come out with new demos. Are we going to find those just on SoundCloud, or do you guys have any plans on maybe going on to other streaming services later down the line?
We have 2 more demos on the way. We actually were recording last night. Like, more like till midnight. And we have 2 more, and it's gonna be like an EP of like 3 demos. Okay. We're gonna have them out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp, just like a really nice looking page,
I think once we get a little bit more, when we'll actually go into a studio at some point. I'm not sure when, but. For now, I think we're going to leave the demos on those 2 platforms.
I'm interested, is there anyone in the U Ottawa or just Ottawa music scene in general that you guys want to work with, or maybe have worked with before that you really enjoyed working with? I know that it's pretty tight knit and that there's a bunch of people doing really interesting and really new things all the time. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, the Ottawa scene's really great. I think it's really diverse. We're good friends with a couple bands, obviously we share a drummer with Cardamom Years. We all love them. We played a show with them at Avant-Garde Bar a couple months back, and that was amazing.
A bunch of people showed up. I was really taken aback by how many people.
But they're great. Lady Grey and the Phantoms too. I'd like to shout out those 2, but we're biased because we're friends with them. but they're really great, and they've helped us out a lot too, getting connections and stuff.
The reason why I started learning guitar was because back in September 2022, I went to an Avant-Garde show where Out by Lucy was playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that. I want to play a shows.
We met at an Out by Lucy show. I was just realizing this.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that was when we
yeah,
first
yeah.
met. Yeah. But they're great. I think they're just
Yeah.
like OGs. Like they're the best.
Yeah.
Out of the venues that you guys have played so far,
Yeah.
I think you've done Live at Elgin, House of Targ. Out of those, which would you say are your favorites? If you're willing to.
We have opinions on this.
Yeah.
We have opinions.
My favorite is House of Target.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really cool venue. It has a really nice ambiance. You know, the lighting's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like good like arcade games, and you know they have pierogies.
That's the selling.
Yeah.
Actually, when you're a performer, they give you 50% off.
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
drinks and food, so that was pretty sick.
The other venues are great, but that one just sticks out to me as just a particularly fun place to play.
Yeah.
Like I love going there for shows. I love playing there. Like it's just an awesome space.
Yeah, it's comfortable to play there.
It's really comfortable. Yeah, the staff's really great. They and that was our first show, right? So we had no clue what we were doing,
Yeah.
and we felt like super supported there.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any advice for anyone who's kind of looking to make their way into the music scene or kind of just start their own projects?
Put yourself out there, reach out to people, connect with like-minded, friends, and talk about music.
Yeah.
Because that's the main thing. If you connect over music and you want to play music, that's how you.
Yeah, I think it's really important to start doing open mics at first because that's where you meet a lot of people and it's kind of like a practice run, you know, for your performances. To come back to the connections part, I think it's really important to have connections in the scene.
Yeah.
Because most of our shows, like we don't even book them. I think we only booked one show, which is our show at Avant-Garde. Most of the time, it's people who like send us like a DM, like, hey, do you want to be on this bill for that day? Like, are you interested?
Going to local shows, meeting people who love music, who are musicians themselves, like not only you can find people who maybe want to be in your band, but you can find people who want to book you. Just get those connections and that's how you'll get booked, and that's how you just keep getting bigger and bigger, I think, right? And I think I'm really grateful for that too.
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that. I'm glad that there's a scene that's fostering people like coming together and just playing music. I think at the end of the day, beyond anything else, it's nice to be able to connect with others through music.
Big time, yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys maybe I missed or that you wanted to really bring up before the interview starts to come to a close?
We're playing a show next.
Oh
Yeah, we're playing a show next Friday. Yeah.
Big show next Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
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 With 3 other bands. Perp Walk from the UK, Bad Egg from Windsor, Ontario, and the local band Script Issue that me and Liam saw like at a house show like a while ago. And we're like, oh, they're really
Yeah,
good.
they were awesome.
And
I immediately was like,
we actually we messaged them like, hey, do you want to play at our June 18th show? But they're like, no, we can, but we'll like hit you up. We'll hit you guys up for like our future shows. So they actually came to us with this opportunity not too long ago. Cause we're kind of looking for a show in September and it just kind of fell into our laps.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for
thanks
stopping
so
by,
much.
for giving the chance for us to like all come together and talk. Again, this has been Daniel interviewing Apostlebird. Catch them at their show September 13th. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.